Managing Director of the Sedex in Asia. And I'm going to take the opportunity to thank you everyone participation for these 2 days conference. And really thank you for the last session moderated by my colleague Vishal, and also the fantastic speech from the different speakers and also the moderators. So I'm going to take a few minutes to take a very quick look at about the presentation. It's not working. But I click on the full screen. It's already full screen at my end. So
okay, so probably there is a delay, Walter. Can you hear me here?
Let me check. I already played the full screen. Click on the full screen. Hi, Vishal.
Yeah, I think there's a delay. Yeah, so there's a delay probably. So can you maybe just put it now? We need to end this one. I need to send you a different link because it's fine. We will do it here. So if you just send, if you start sharing your screen now, let me see, and then I will tell you to start. No, start sharing your screen.
Okay, 1 second. Share screen, and then now slide is not on like a full screen view. So if I click on here, then I need to click on.
Okay, let me show you how it looks like. So it's not full screen yet.
But this is not the way I did it just now. Just now I turn on the slide and turn it into full screen view, and then use the Alt and tap on the keyboard, switch to the StreamYard, and then click on share screen.
Okay, let's see. So we can continue here. So still not full screen. So I'm just going to wait till it gets a full screen. So still I can see the presentation slide only. You're not on the slideshow mode.
So if I click on this button, is that slideshow mode?
Yeah, try that one.
I just turn on a few pages to see.
No, I can see your presentation, the Sedex APAC slides day 2, the normal PPT file.
I already put up into like a full screen presentation. I mean mode. So I don't know why.
Okay, so that one is not visible. I think this is what exactly happened in the recording. Only your the slide. Let me show you on a. Let me send a screenshot on a WebEx how it looks like.
Or maybe I can use the Wedex recorder, the Wedex recorder, and then send it to you.
Yeah, we can do that one otherwise. Still, so I just sent you a screenshot. This is how it looks like. It was in the same when you were talking, but before this, just the earlier recording, it was fine. So can you try maybe one more time? Stop screen share. Let me stop that one. And if you start again, I have stopped the screen share. If you can stop, if you can start now.
Start a screen share, okay. And then, but when I click on that, because I haven't put my slide onto the full screen view, should I do that? Put on the full screen view first?
No, it's fine. You can leave it, and then because we're gonna edit this anyway. So
okay, okay, so if you see my screen, this is not a full screen view. You can see all the buttons in Chinese at the top and all those things. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I will click on the play button.
Yeah.
And then how about right now?
No, it's still that all the buttons in Chinese, everything.
Yeah, so it's very strange.
Do other way around. If you do yours full screen first, and then share a screen.
Stop
using the Alt tab.
Just 1 second. I just stopped sharing. What I'm going to do, because your voice is very breaking.
If you made a full screen before you share. So make a full screen and then start sharing. We'll see that one.
First, share screen first. Then
No, first full screen and then try sharing.
first full screen, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, now I'm in the full screen, and now I need to click on LT and tab button in the keyboard
Yeah.
to transfer to StreamYard. And I click on share screen and click on share. So there are a few options in here. One is the slide and also in the slide mode. So
just share an entire screen if you want.
So let me share my screen with you to see how that look like from my end. So that's something if you look at. Can you see I made the screen?
Just bear with me. It's not received yet. So when you start from your side, I do get a message here that you're sharing the content. No, nothing so far. You have not shared anything.
Yeah, I haven't been yet sharing, so I'm going to share. Maybe I try this one. And then I click one more.
On. It's something coming up now. So now is the second slide with Simon's picture, and it has those Chinese text. So it's not in a full screen.
It's full screen or it's not?
No, it's not.
So I don't know
why.
Are you sharing
your whole screen? Are you sharing your whole screen or only the application?
Let me do that once again. Just 1 second. Okay, let me. 1 second. See and tap. Here, share screen, share. How about right now?
It's loading now. Just a moment.
I just go to get my phone to call your WhatsApp. I cannot hear you while the audio. It's quite challenging for me. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
So I will call your WhatsApp. So to see.
Okay. Yeah.
So you need to. Hi, Michelle. Hello. 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 Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. So what?
It's not the same.
So what I need to do?
So if you click on that first one,
First.
StreamYard. See, what is the first one there?
1 second. String. So if I click on StreamYard, you mean the first button on the screen or what? Bye. Bye.
We will edit that later.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Hello, everyone. And my name is Walter Lin. I'm the Managing Director of the Sedex in Asia. And really, thank you, the great panel discussion led by my colleague Vishal. And thank you for all the speakers in the session just now. It's a really good presentation. And thank you, everyone's time for being with us for 2 days online, and no matter where you are from. And I'd like to thank you your time. And I'd like to spend a few minutes to quickly go through some highlights and takeaways for these 2 days events. So on the first day, which is yesterday, Simon, the Sedex CEO, joined from the Sedex London in very early morning just to talking about the Sedex and the Response business. I guess the key topics we talk about in these 2 days around COVID-19, the impact on business. And also Simon shared a great idea and also the case study around how Sedex can play an important role to support members on collaboration and communication in response to the COVID-19 impact on the business. But also Simon did share a lot of quite useful tools which is available for Sedex members to use in response to the COVID, but also still carry on about the Response business practical actions. And indeed, we're also talking about Sedex got around 27,000 members in Asia Pacific region. And this is a plan. We want to offer more resource and times and also the capacities to support and empower members in this region. Also, we have a very great speakers from the different international brands, investment firms, but also the UN agency to join us. So talking about why Response business matters. I guess the reason why we put why Response business matter in that session is purely because in the day-to-day operations, people are really quite struggle to understanding why I have to do that. So for example, if you are a supplier, are constant asking by the customer to say you have a compliant, you will conduct a compliant social audit, you need to fill in something like a due diligence questionnaire. And also, if you're a brand and retailer, are gradually requested by the investors or the capital market to share your ESG data. So this is all coming to the question about why I need to do that. What would be the business case for us to do that? So in this session, all these great speakers are really talking about the reason why, no matter is it from the consumer's perspective or from the media, but also from the UN agency, also the investors, to really talk about the business case for the Response business in actions. Moving to the day one, we do got another panel talking about Response business in the supply chain, which if you are international company or if you are small and medium-sized enterprises globally, you still have to look at your own operation, but also your suppliers. So we do got a very good speaker from International Labour Organization, KIMA, and Fuji Xerox, and JB Coca, and including VCCI, is Vietnam Chamber of Commerce, to really talk about how a company needs to roll out their Response business program in the supply chain, what the opportunities are, and what are the challenges. But also like the Chambers of Commerce, how can they put an important role in collaborating and empower the companies to do the better job in the journey of the Response business. And then we come to the day two, which this morning, which Jessica from the Australian Border Force and talking about their progress on the modern slavery and human trafficking. I guess Jessica is trying to share about 3 main Australian governments response to the modern day slavery in the supply chain. It's more about awareness raising for the business and also the awareness raising for the civil society, consumers, but also she's talking about the importance for the successful program, which is the collaboration. But she also calling out that the most significant challenge for business, it's more about understanding a supply chain, especially related to the modern slavery risk, and how we need to take action to take a response for that. Following by that, we do got the panel discussion, which led by my colleague Alex, who is heading up Sedex in Japan, Australia, and New Zealand, and together with a few retailer brands and suppliers, coming to talk about the calibration in the age of the COVID-19. I guess the interesting conversation around this panel is more about the buyer or the customer need to supporting the supplier. But at other end, the supplier and also the manufacturers, they should be able to support the customer. Even they should education for the customers, because most of the time, the response business in the supply chain or supply chain social compliance, it's more about a requirement from the customer, and oftenly the supplier won't see too much benefit, and then they are being told to do something. So it's more about how can we look at a balance between doing a big good business, but also being a very long-term partnership between the buyer and suppliers. And also we in here session, people really to talk about the cost, because anything if we invest into the response supply chain, response business or social compliance, etc., it's a kind of cost. But it's more about how can you change your mindset to think about this is a long-term investment. This is not like something a cost for the business. So it's kind of like something we need to really to look at a long-term vision rather than the short-term. And also we do got the Livelo from the UNDP, the Business and the Human Rights. So Livelo is a very experienced advisor for global human rights previously, but now in recent year, he really to look at the Asians business and human rights agenda. So his conversation is more around the government's action to implementation of the NAP, which means the government now is looking to take some very proactive actions to promote the response business. But at the same time, media also it's helping to point out the companies they should taking more responsibility as well. But there are still many challenges, especially in this region, for example, forced labor and child labor. But also we need to think about environment impacts, land rights, something like that. And also he mentioned about the due diligence by the EU and making sure the supply chain in Asia is green and clean. And we do got a last panel, which is it's the session led by my colleague Vishal, and talking about supplier sustainability journey, and also how can you establish a partnership with the internal stakeholders to promote the sustainable supply chains. I guess the conversation in here is more about, one is whether you got your commitments. Second is about how can you to making your engagement to your internal stakeholders, which is your board level, your senior management team, but also you need to get engagement with your supplier, and especially with those suppliers, you need to have a long-term relationship. And in here, we do got the people from Walmart to really talking about their values for the business at 3 level, but also we heard a very good like a presentation from P&G to talk about the citizenship, and not only for the P&G itself, but also from the supplier. And Marty from Fresh Produce Groups and talking about their works with the farmers and also their stories to be proud with the Sedex members. And last but not least, Lego shared about their planet's promise and SDG, and also their long-term investments in children, environment, and people. So I guess that's a very quick recap for these 2 days session. And these sessions are recorded, and we do share this information and video via the social media channel. So if you want to get further information, or if you have any questions, just be free to reach out to us. And I'd like to thank you for all our sponsors and also the speaker and moderators. Without your support, we won't be able to have such a very great conference, even virtually, and to ensure everyone in the Asia Pacific region can get this opportunity, can hear discussion and share their best practice and insight. But also I'd like to call out to thank you for all of the Sedex colleagues who spend huge amount of their time on preparation and engaging with our member and the stakeholder for this event. And I'd like to say special thank you to Star and Vishal in our China and Indian office, and also Alex in our Australian office. But do like to say thank you for our CEO, Simon, support, but also Jessica, who is the Director for Corporate Affairs in Sedex. I'd like to say thank you for their support, and all of our colleagues in the 4 offices in China, Australian, Indian, and Japan. Thank you for their efforts, and also our overseas office support on this event. If you have any further questions and any comments on these events, please feel free to reach out to send an email to sedexasianews@sedexglobal.com, and we'll listen to your feedback. And then we try to see whether we can hold another session next year to invite you to join again. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Hope you can enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.